Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business here on the final day of Ellucian Live in Denver, Colorado. There is absolutely nothing like a EdUp episode first thing in the morning. We've got two welcome guests for us this morning. I'm not sure if they were out. By the way, Ellucian basically blocked off a whole street in downtown Denver, Colorado yesterday to give back to their employees and users. There was food, there was people dancing, games, skee ball. I smashed Elvin in skee ball like 40 times.
He's lying.
And basketball, there was people, margaritas. I did not have anything to drink. Neither did Elvin at all, in fact.
Cheers!
But I will tell you that we did have a great time. And what an amazing event. What a great way to give back to the users. We have two very special guests with us today. I don't know if they were marshaled in. I don't know if they went to the event, but here's what I do know.
Hold on tight. This is going to be a bumpy ride.
Mostly because I'm tired, but these guys they're fresh. That's what I'll say. Here they come. Let me make sure I introduce them properly. I have with me here today, I have Michael Hofherr. He's Director of Higher Education Strategy and Business Development at Amazon Web Service. Michael, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Are you sure you are ready? Did your team properly prepare?
We're ready.
Also, I have
More
with
than
me.
ready.
Also, he is Employee Support Specialist, aka Senior Vice President of Business Development and Strategic Programs for Ellucian. He's John Mullen. John, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I think that's the end of the episode, guys. I've got with your titles. I think that's it. I think that's where we end. Well, guys, I'm glad to have you here at the last day of the event, because you can kind of tell me what your experiences were like. But I think the good starting point is why is this relationship between AWS and Ellucian so important? Let's start there. And what is the relationship, and why is it so important to both businesses?
Mike, please, you go first.
Yeah, no, it's one of our key relationships, and you'll hear me talk about this later in the closing session, right? That Ellucian's one of our top tier partners. They're one of a handful of customers that have achieved status in that tier, and they're the only ERP to have that. So it's really about for us having this robust partner customer network, and helping folks like Ellucian move our customers to SaaS solutions to the cloud as fast as we can.
Yeah, that's well stated, Mike. I view AWS as probably our single most important partner globally.
Oh yeah,
and
that's a nice designation, right there.
That's right. And we're very focused on going to market together, taking the value proposition of better together, and helping our customers modernize their ERP environments.
So what did you guys learn here at Ellucian Live, right? Because you get to talk to users, you get to talk to data and coding specialists. We had a couple on yesterday that gave us some interesting feedback, but you learn a lot. You learn about what product developments need to take place, how current product developments are going, what users want, whether they're struggling, whether they're doing well with the products. What are your big takeaways?
Yeah, I think really at the top level, how much the last few years have upped the pressure for digital transformation on campuses, whether that's with a product like Ellucian, with modernizing your infrastructure. This is
my digital transformation.
I like that. I like that a lot, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not, it's how you embed technology into every aspect of a program, from student access, research, how that helps your university achieve status, prestige, right? It's really been exciting to hear this. I've been in this industry for 20 years, and to see the pace of change accelerate is what I'm excited about.
You only look like you're not a day over 25. How could you have 20 years in the business?
Like when I started all
this is not possible.
Hair was not gray.
Yeah.
I remember when it was not
right. John and I were having this conversation earlier. Yeah,
we've known each other a long time.
Remember the first time we met across this table? Yeah,
that's funny. John, what have you learned from users, from people trying to embed technology? Product development. What are your takeaways?
Well, I'll tell you, my first takeaway is that the people that attended this year at this conference were extraordinarily engaged. everybody here is just the level of engagement was so high. So I had tremendous conversations with both end user customers as well as a whole host of our partners. And I agree with what Mike said. Everyone is now focused after these last couple of years as we come out of this on modernizing their structure and finding ways to enhance the student experience, to ensure successful outcomes and to ensure retention.
Mm-hmm.
And all the conversations are focused around that. And I kind of felt that this was kind of an enlightening conference for me, because it made me realize that our strategy and what we're trying to do with our installed base customers and our net new customers is really the right value proposition. I tested it with most of our customers. I've tested it with our partners. And I think it's exactly what people are looking for, need right now. So we're really excited about the future. We're really excited about the potential outcomes for our customers as a result of this new emphasis.
Speaking of outcomes, that's a really good transition, right? You talked about it, right? But so many institutions, we've talked to like 146 or something college and university presidents over the last 2 years. One of the most common themes is retention. Coronavirus, facilitates people that are leaving school in big numbers. Some of the diversity and diverse people of color are not coming back as much as they should be to higher ed. Cybersecurity and data is flowing out of institutions. In fact, there is one, and I meant to look at it yesterday, that it was hacked a year ago, and they've now shut down, and they're citing that hack is one of the reasons why they couldn't recover, because they had to stop enrollment. And you go, what do we do as institutions? Because we need more technology, we need to have a flow of data, but at the same time we need to protect it, and we need to maintain a focus on the students all at the same time. How does technology enhance our ability to do that in a way that doesn't distract us from the personal relationships of student to student? Because there is that piece that still has to be maintained. Is that a very complicated question? It felt like it was a run-on sentence here, guys.
Well, let me try to take a stab at that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a horrible question. Sorry.
We did a study on digital transformation. Same thing. We talked to a whole bunch of university presidents, and I think what's interesting is that they believe that they've been leading in digital transformation given the huge investments that they've made, right? And we've seen investments make more, and more universities make more investments in technology. But is that technology that fits the new way of doing business, right? And that's why partners like Ellucian are so important, right? They are, in the marketplace, pushing universities to think differently about what they're doing and how they're doing business, whether that's retaining students of color, whether that's new models for delivery of education, and how you support that from a whole student, from a whole faculty member is going to be where we need to go.
It really is. I had a really interesting luncheon yesterday with a whole host of HBCU customers, where our CEO Laura came in and spoke, and this was a common thing. This was kind of the theme of the luncheon was, we need to modernize our infrastructure. We need to equip ourselves with the latest and greatest technology to ensure student success and student retention in a really important customer segment.
Yep.
I mean, we participate very heavily in the HBCU system. They're a very important customer, and I view it as a system. So it's just a fantastic opportunity to sit here and share ideas at this conference this week. So I was really excited coming out of that.
Do you think that institutions are? Well, let me rephrase so I don't give you another horrible question. Coronavirus catalyzes higher ed's adoption of technology, whether by force or by choice, right? I think we all agree on that. What happens next for institutions? Are the ones that you're talking to going, yes, we realize that we need more technology, to your point, John, and we need to do more? Or is it, okay, we've done everything we need to do, and now we can sit back and we can wait, and we're gonna just kind of keep the technology that we have? Is the I don't know, the transformation itch, so to speak, going away now that things are normalizing a little bit? Or do you feel like institutions are still on the front end, or trying to be? Not that they'll ever be at the front end of technology, because technology moves so fast, but are they trying?
It's a great question. I think there's a gap between the vision of campus leaders and digital transformation. Yikes! And when we that one scared me.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I told you to
expecting-
be ready.
I wasn't expecting the yikes there, but
I hit the amazing and yikes at the same time.
I duck every time.
yeah. When we talk to those same university presidents I mentioned earlier, like 55% of them say their institutions are on the right path to digital transformation, right?
And what do you say?
Wrong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. But of that group, only 33 of them think they're making the right investments. 33% of them think they're making the right investments. So they know they're going there, but they don't quite know how to get there.
And I agree with that 100%. The other thing that we see when we work with our customers, both net new customers and customers that we're modernizing, is the purchase and implementation of technology is just part of the solution. The other is instituting effective change management inside their organization. And so we have really focused on developing change management consultation and capabilities, both in-house and with partners, to enable this transition more effectively for our customers. I hear this from every school I talk to.
And it's almost, to play off that, John, right? I think we did 50 modernizations last year together.
Moving customers from on-prem to
together, right?
cloud.
Wow.
We've done this, right? Like AWS and Ellucian have done this together, right? So
That's
technology,
easy.
Yeah, it's not easy, and I don't want to say it's easy because I've done ERP transitions on campus and they're difficult, right?
Yeah.
But the technology isn't the barrier, right? It's the change on campus and the change that brings to students, to faculty, to administrators, and they're busy, right? And we don't want to take away time in the classroom, time from research, time from solving the world's next problem because of an ERP.
That's right.
Migration, right?
That's exactly
So how do we
right.
do that as with as little pain as possible?
And not only are we focused on helping our customers with change management net, but we also need to do this more rapidly. It is a heavy lift for a lot of schools to move from an on-prem customized environment to SaaS. We're good at helping them do it. Well, we need to help them do it faster. And that's what we're being asked to do all the time. So we're working with AWS very closely to speed up that process and to scale it.
We push the limits of science and technology.
I love it. I will tell you guys what I love about you two is that you just eliminated me from the conversation, which means it's a good good podcast. That means it's a good podcast. I don't need to be involved. But my question then becomes, are institutions change management happening easier post-pandemic? Well, I don't want to say post-pandemic. Now, is change management easier, or is it the exact same as it was before because people don't change? You know what I mean? Like, is change adoption better?
John, what do you think?
Watch it, John. This is going to go.
I'm not sure it's easier, but I think there's a much better realization across multiple functions and departments in the university that recognizes the need for it. And I think people's appetite for it is greater than it's ever been. Because they recognize now it has to happen.
And what still needs to happen, Mike?
Let me build on John's really quick. Sorry. I think in COVID and over the last couple of years, we really saw universities come together and break down silos.
Yes.
Right? What I'm afraid of, and I'm starting to see it a little bit. I get to go around, have a great job. I get to go around the country, talk to university leaders, right?
Wait, before you start. No, start talking. Go ahead.
Is the elastic band is starting to retract, right? And we're falling back into some of our old habits. And so if we fall, I did like that. That was good. I just need you to follow me around.
I will.
If we let that happen, we're gonna fall back into the same traps we had before.
Yeah, you can't let that. It can't happen. So I'm encouraged. I think, I think it has changed. I've been in higher ed with Mike a long time now, 20 some years.
Oh, you guys are good looking for two. I'll tell you what.
This is your best looking podcast.
I mean, by far.
Spent a lot of time preparing for this.
Yes, I can tell. I can tell. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what happens next? What happens out of this conference? You guys go, back to your respective camps. You say, okay, we need to do this. We need to do that. Is it outward facing? Is it inward facing? Is it both? What comes next for your relationship and for your individual companies?
Well, I'll start with that. We're going to collectively, our team is going to take back a lot of the feedback that we got from our customers. We heard a lot of things we're doing well. We heard from customers of areas that they'd like to see us improve on. I've made a lot of notes on that. We're going to take that back and
I bet
work.
you have pages of notes too,
I
right?
do, absolutely. And I also had a lot of really rich and interesting conversations with our partners. And I think one of the things that really impressed upon me was how important it is to have an extensible platform in this business, and to make it a shared technology platform. And so integration with a whole host of partners that are important, that have important applications to our customers, is more important than ever.
Yeah.
And so we're going to really double down on that as well, so that we bring forward the best-in-class solution for ERP
I love
in
that.
the industry.
And I think from my perspective, we're here to support, right? We're here to provide, I think I learned yesterday that Ellucian uses 80 plus Amazon AWS services, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, where can we help you accelerate that development of your own platform? Where can we help you, with integrations on campus, or what's the next generation data lake
Level up
campus, so that you're right. All boats rise when we work together.
Absolutely. It's very important. It's more important now than I've ever seen it in my career in high ed.
So this conference was important because it's one of the first. There's been a couple of conferences in person, but this one for Ellucian users specifically, it's been a while. We talked to Laura a couple times, and she was just off the walls excited, and she's like, "Oh my God, everybody's coming in!" And then there's going to be a lot of people who are remote, and I don't feel like you get as much. You don't get quite as much as you do when you're in person. So, did this meet your expectations, John? Did you get what you wanted out of this conference from users? Did it meet your expectations? And then same question to you, Mike. Did this help you guys get what you needed, or what changes come next year to make it even better?
Well, I'm not sure I can answer the second question. I haven't thought about that much yet, but I will tell you, to your first question, it's exceeded my expectations.
Amazing.
It really has. Like I mentioned to you right at the very beginning here of this conversation, the level of engagement was extraordinarily high.
That's great.
The people that were here came here with very distinct purposes in mind. And I've really enjoyed it. And I've also made a lot of great new relationships with people. So I walk away from this really excited and energized.
Yeah, for sure. People have been buzzing.
Yeah.
I've been buzzing around here. It's what do you think, Mike?
It's been great to see everybody in person.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough. But I also think it's been great to meet people. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. It's like this lost 2 years where people like me have changed roles, and people like John and other folks in partner groups and customer groups have moved around to actually see those people in person in their new roles and to have meaningful conversations has, again, I would agree with John, exceeded expectations. It's just been really nice, right?
It's good, and we got to see you guys, so it's made it for us. I mean, I feel like my conference is now complete. I will tell you guys, we ask the same 2 questions of every single guest that we have on here, the EdUp Experience podcast. Number 1, and you both get to answer. Okay. What did we not say about Ellucian? Anything that you want to say, John, you get to go first, about Ellucian, where you go next, how you think the conference went, takeaways, anything about the organization. Same thing, question to you, Mike, about Amazon Web Services. What does our audience need to know?
Well, I think there are a lot of ways to answer that question, but I think the most important message that I would want to convey is how much we at Ellucian appreciate our customers and our partners. Without them,
I can tell that.
Yeah, without them, I mean, it nothing works. And we truly do appreciate everything that they do. We love working with them, and really looking forward to another successful year.
It's amazing.
So echo the same sentiments from John. I'd say this, right? AWS for a long time has not had a position in higher education, and we've put one out there. And you can read about it. Strategies for digital transformation in higher education. It's a 4-pronged approach. Accelerate research, enrich student experience, modernize and secure your institution, turn data into wisdom. We're here to help. We're here to help.
Is that up on the site, on your site? Where can you
it.
access that? Do you know?
That's a good question.
Well,
I don't have
I'm-
the link here in front of me, but maybe we can.
That's
share
right.
it.
I would encourage everybody to Google it. Amazon Web Services and
You'll find
higher
it.
education. You'll find it. I have a feeling Amazon's pretty good at Google placement. So, second question: what do you see as the future of higher education, John?
Well, I think the future of higher education is going to be increased access wherever you are, whenever you need it. And there's going to be, I believe, a lot more diversity in higher education, both primarily geographically as well as student diversity.
Yeah, that's
And I
important.
think both of those areas are areas that we want to make sure that our solutions help to accommodate and encourage.
I like that. Future higher ed.
I like that a lot. I think to add to that and build on everything that John said, data driven. I think higher education is going to catch up with the other industries that are using data to drive decisions and unlock a lot of the data that they've had stored in silos for a long time.
Yeah, that'd be key. It's very key.
Well, guys, this has been amazing. Thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you
on the
guys for having
podcast. I would outro you with your titles again, but to be honest, they're very long, and
Just give us
I'm
a
out
good
of.
sound
I need
effect.
to get some coffee. Here they are. It's John from Ellucian, and it's Mike from Amazon Web Services. Connect with these guys on LinkedIn. Incredible insights here, Ellucian Live. It's been a pleasure and honor to be here and interview people like yourself, guys. Did you have a good EdUp experience today?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Best
Very-
podcast I've done in a while.
It's
Ever,
my,
maybe?
Ever? Sure.
It's my first EdUp experience.
100%.
Oh, thank
Excellent.
you. Thank you, John, for chiming in there. With me. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp.